Almost every day, historians and archaeologists reveal more and more secrets of the past, but several mysteries still puzzle researchers after decades, or sometimes even centuries, of investigations. Here are the most enduring stories of mysterious deaths and disappearances that still puzzle historians. Number 1. Mallory and Irvin on Everest. On June 4, 1924, British mountaineers George Mallory and Andrew Irvin set out from an advanced base camp high on the north col of Mount Everest, in an attempt to become the first people to reach the summit of the world's highest mountain. They were sighted 4 days later by another member of their expedition, climbing on the mountain's northeast ridge, about 800 vertical feet, 245 meters, below the summit. But then clouds closed over the ridge, and the two men were never seen again. Historians and mountaineers have long speculated that Mallory and Irvin may have survived the climb to the summit of Mount Everest, at an altitude of 29,029 feet, 8,848 meters, but then died during their descent from the mountain, probably on June 9, 1924. In 1933, Irvin's ice axe was found high on the mountain, confirming the mountaineers had reached an altitude of 28,097 feet, 8,564 meters. In 1999, an expedition found Mallory's remains, on Everest's north face, at an altitude of nearly 27,000 feet, 8,230 meters. Some climbers have claimed to have seen another body in the area, possibly that of Irvin, but while the finds are intriguing, the question of whether Mallory and Irvin reached the summit before they died remains a subject of debate. Number 2. The last flight of Amelia Earhart. When American aviator Amelia Earhart set out to become the first woman to fly around the world, she was already one of the most famous women in the world. 5 years earlier, in May 1932, she had made a name for herself as the first woman to fly solo non-stop across the Atlantic. And in 1935, Earhart made the first solo flight from Honolulu, Hawaii, to Oakland, California. As such, the world was watching in July 1937, when the plane carrying Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan on their round-the-world attempt went missing over the Pacific Ocean. Earhart and Noonan took off on July 2nd, from Leon, Papua New Guinea, bound for Howland Island, their next refueling stop, around 2,550 miles, 4,110 kilometers, away, across the ocean. As they approached what they thought was Howland Island, Earhart was able to make radio contact with a U.S. Coast Guard ship stationed to guide them in. But Earhart's last radio messages indicated she was unable to locate either the ship or the island. The U.S. Coast Guard ship began a search immediately, joined by U.S. Navy ships in the days that followed. No remains of the aircraft were found, and the official search effort, at that time, the largest and most expensive in U.S. history, was called off after 2 weeks. Still, historical researchers have never given up on trying to find Earhart. Among recent efforts to find out just what happened to America's pioneering aviator, researchers equipped with underwater robots have been exploring the waters around Nakamura Atoll, an island in the Kiribati region, for clues that they hope may lead them to the wreckage of her aircraft. Number 3. The Baroness of the Galapagos. Eloise Westerborn de Wagner-Bosquet, known as the Baroness of the Galapagos, was a young Austrian woman who disappeared in 1935 on the remote island of Floriana in the Galapagos archipelago, in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Floriana had become famous in Germany after it was colonized in 1929 by a German couple, Friedrich Ritter and Doris Strauch, who eked out a primitive living in a house made from rocks and driftwood. Their celebrity attracted other German families to Floriana, seeking what they saw as a utopian lifestyle. In 1933, the Baroness arrived, along with her 2 young German lovers, Robert Philipson and Rudolf Florence, and an Ecuadorian servant. After setting up house on the island, she announced plans to build a luxury hotel, and in the meantime, built a reputation for flamboyant living among the simple colonists of Floriana. On March 27, 1934, the Baroness and her lover Philipson disappeared. Another German colonist claimed they had embarked on a passing yacht bound for Tahiti, but there were no records of such a yacht visiting the Galapagos at that time. A few days later, the Baroness's other lover, Rudolf Lorenz, hurriedly left Florina in a boat with a Norwegian fisherman, bound for the South American mainland. Their mummified bodies were found months later, stranded on a waterless island where their boat had foundered. Researchers speculate that Lorenz killed the Baroness and Philipson, and that other colonists helped him cover up the murders, but the disappearance of the Baroness of the Galapagos has never been solved. Number 4. The disappearance of D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper is the popular pseudonym of an unidentified man who hijacked a Boeing 727 flying from Portland to Seattle on the afternoon of November 24, 1971. The man boarded with a ticket in the name of Dan Cooper, which was later misreported by a wire service as D.B. Cooper. Soon after takeoff, the man told an air steward that he was carrying a bomb, and showed her what looked like a bomb inside his briefcase. The hijacker then ordered the pilots of the plane to land at Seattle-Tacoma Airport, where he collected a ransom of $200,000 in a parachute, before ordering the plane to take off again. At an altitude of around 10,000 feet, 3,000 meters, somewhere over the Pacific Northwest, the hijacker parachuted from the rear steps of the aircraft with the ransom money, and was never seen again. In spite of an extensive manhunt by the FBI, the hijacker has never been located or identified, and the Bureau's investigators think he probably did not survive his jump from the aircraft. But theories and speculation about the true identity and present whereabouts of D.B. Cooper abound. In 2016, the producers of a documentary on the History Channel claimed to have identified the hijacker as a 72-year-old former military veteran now living in Florida. Number 5. The Wallace Case. The murder in 1931 of housewife Julia Wallace in her home in Liverpool, in the United Kingdom, has fascinated crime researchers and writers for decades. Wallace's husband, an insurance salesman named William, had received a message that asked him to visit an address in Mallory Gardens East on January 21, 1931. Assuming it was a sales lead, William tried to attend the appointment, but he found that such a street did not exist. He claimed that when he returned home, he found that his wife had been brutally murdered in the living room. William Wallace was convicted of his wife's murder, but the conviction was overturned on appeal, so Wallace avoided the sentence of death by hanging. Historical researchers have since speculated that the murder was committed by one of Wallace's co-workers, who had been fired after Wallace accused him of embezzling money. But in 2013, the British crime writer P.D. James, who researched the case for her own books, wrote in the Sunday Times that she believes Wallace did, in fact, kill his wife. She added that she thought the prank call out to Mallory Gardens East on the same night was just a coincidence. Number 6. The Diet of Pass Incident. In February 1959, searchers in the northern Ural Mountains in Russia found the abandoned campsite of a ski trekking party of 9 people who had been missing for several weeks. The tent had been torn in half, apparently from the inside, and filled with shoes and other belongings, while several sets of footprints, in socks or barefoot, led away into the snow. The bodies of all 9 hikers were eventually recovered in May of that year, after the snow thawed. Most had died from hypothermia, but 2 had fractured skulls, 2 had broken ribs, and 1 was missing her tongue. The case has become known as the Diet of Pass Incident, after the name of the group leader, Igor Dyatlov. The party was mostly made up of students or graduates from a university at Yekaterinburg in Russia's Sverdlovsk region. Although the official Soviet investigation found the cause of the deaths was a compelling natural force, probably an avalanche, there is still no clear explanation of the events that occurred at Dyatlov Pass. Some theories speculate that the party was attacked by wild animals, or that a mass panic caused by low-frequency sounds dispersed the group. There are even highly speculative links to alleged reports that UFOs had been seen in the area near that time. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, then subscribe our channel and turn on the notification to never miss a latest video from us.